Hello, it's me, your favourite midfield driver. Talks like Mr. Bean, looks like a terrorist, dresses like a teenager from the 90s. I said I wouldn't do another video, but some of you quite liked the last one, so here we are. Well, what's new? It's 2025, new season of GX, and it's much bigger, 51 drivers for the first round. Incredible. Now, for me, my kart last year was a little bit of a state. You may remember my snowplow nose, tiniest little bit of contact and it would cave in, probably some extra aerodynamics, but overall not a good thing. So, what have I done over the winter to sort it out? Well, I've made it worse. I'm now going to talk you through everything I've done on my car over the winter, but you'll be pleased to know it's not a 5-hour Top Gear special. I'm not going to talk about every nut and bolt, which is partly because I haven't changed anything. I've barely even cleaned it. Let's have a look. So I'm still running the same axle, that's gone rusty. Side pods have gone rusty. Engine, some bodywork. The only thing I have changed is my nose cone, because if you'll remember I had my snowplow last year, so I've got a nice new one there with a new nacelle to go with it, all totally mismatched, love it. Some of you may know I work for a band called The Wombats, who agreed to sponsor me this year and pay for my sticker kit, but I realised they're never going to watch this video, so I spent all the money on booze and I haven't done a sticker kit at all. But if you're new to the series, you might not know this, but sticker kits don't make you any faster. So in the true ethos of the series, just stuck some gaffer tape on it. Right, that's enough pissing about. Time to get on with some racing, which is, after all, what you are here to see. So this is heat 1, except it's actually heat 2, because there's so many people in GX now, you're not in every heat. So this was the second heat to happen, but the first one for me. If you're confused, good luck. We are starting P17 for this heat, which is good because it's on the clean side of the grid, and it's also good because it's the first heat, it's my back start, and I figure there's going to be a lot of chaos, so starting the back for the first one gives me a chance to just ease into this. I know there are so many really fast new people in this series. I've gone from being top 10 to there's no chance in hell I'm top 10 this year, but that's okay, it takes the pressure off. A very experienced person in the paddock told me as a driving tip that I should drive more like a car, so that's what I did. Probably lost a few friends through the day, as you will see shortly, but I'm okay with that. It was lots of fun, and that's why we're here, isn't it? We're here to have fun, right? So, I am starting behind Matt Davies, who I don't really know, but I will become a bit more familiar with through the day. So we are coming up to the start line. We are on the good side, so we're hoping to just get a real clean getaway. We had a much better start than the other side of the grid. Want to avoid the chaos. Look to have managed that little bit of a knock there on the inside, but nothing too bad. Now we've lost a place to Connor Botting, I think it is, but we're going to get him straight back up the inside. That's nice. And close right up on the brakes to the guys in front. Actually, well, not right up in front. Close up a little to the guys in front. That was Matt Davies who started in front of me, having a think about a move, but there's not really anywhere to go. There's a bit of loading, but it's fairly calm actually. Everyone's been quite well behaved. Don't know what happened behind me. Ahead of that we've got Anwar and Tim. Now Tim was someone I raced a lot last year. I do like Tim. He may not like me so much by the end of the day, but he was very quick on the Saturday, so maybe he's made a step forward, but equally I was hoping I could have some good racing with him as we did last year. Having a think about it there, but nothing really doing. And then, hit Tim. I'm pretty sure I got loaded from behind. Sully's just come past me. I'm very sorry, Tim. You probably don't even realise that was me, and you already probably don't like me from the rest of the day, but if you didn't, you certainly don't now. But as I said, definitely getting some loading. Not much I could do there. Hope that was okay. Don't hate me for that one. Got a nice run here on Matt Davies, getting up the inside and making a nice late braking move and get that one done. It is definitely a thing how through the day I did find that I was very good up Christmas and on the brakes into Christmas. I made a lot of time there and some good defending and overtaking moves. The problem was I was pretty rubbish everywhere else. This corner, as we can see there, Oscar Proietti is coming past. Now he's very fast, so in some ways I'm not bothered by this, but it is a little bit frustrating. I did seem to improve that corner as the day goes on, certainly got overtaken a lot less there by the end of the day. but earlier on it wasn't a strong point. My problem was the boot, as we've just gone through there. I lose so much time every lap and I haven't figured it out. Please, answers on a postcard if anyone can tell me what I needed to do there to make it better, that would help. But this number 78, I'm not sure who this is, apologies, too many new people, but he got slightly hampered through the first corners by Oscar, which gave me a fairly easy run up the inside. Now I've held on to Oscar reasonably here, but I'm just going to start losing him. The pack's already quite a way away, which is a bit of a shame. And then Jake Sharrock up the inside. I mean, fair enough, he was so fast this weekend. Spoiler alert, he does win the race. Nothing much I can do to stay with him, but that's okay. Another person get past, that's Russell. I kind of don't mind this either. Russell is definitely faster than me. He was another very fast racer from last year. He would be someone that I'd like to see if I could just try and stay with, maybe learn a bit from. And initially I'm still quite close, but I'm going to lose time here through the boot, as we see. Even though Russell's run wide, not had a great exit, he's still made 3 kart lengths from me. The only saving grace I've got is, as I said, I'm good up Christmas, and we're going to see here I can drive all the way up the hill, making a little bit of a gain anyway, possibly engine or gearing related, but then I make a big gain on the brakes and manage to maintain that gain through the corners. So I'm doing something right there at least. But look at Jake ahead. He's already gone flying past. He's made such a gap. I mean, I don't know quite how he's doing that. Something in the Lancaster water maybe? And come to think of it, all of the Lancaster guys are pretty quick. Is that maybe it's steroids in the water? Do we need to start drug testing on GX, JP? You know, just saying. Have a think about that one. So we're already only about halfway through Heat 1 and I'm already talking rubbish, which is not a good sign, so apologies for anyone who's in for the long haul. There may be more waffle to come. Actually, since my last video, one of the things it's made me do, because I said I've always wanted to try commentary and I never knew if I'd be any good. Turns out I wasn't that good. It's actually really hard. And one of the things, since then, I've started watching the Formula 1 commentary and I've noticed they never say Like, they never or they always just, if they can't think of what to say, they just seem to slow down, but they never say so I'm going to try and not do it, although I've already failed loads. I know some of you loved my comedy counter last year of the tap counts on Paul. Maybe I could have a little counter for see how badly I do, although some of those have been, of course, me talking about it, so those ones don't count. Anyway, we've skipped on. This is still the first heat, but as you can see, the pack has just got miles away from me. Russell's got miles away from me, and I am just sort of floundering around on my own. That was a bit of a theme for the day. This video would have been a lot more interesting if I could have a rear-facing camera. That is actually 87. I don't know who that is coming past. Unfortunately, because they bumped me slightly wide, Matt Davis from earlier comes past as well, which is a little bit frustrating to lose 2 places quite late on in the heat, because I thought I'd held on, but it's okay. I do know, I realise at this stage how slow I was. Probably very frustrating for people behind. Anyway, as I was saying, we're not allowed rear-facing cameras. I was a complete roadblock, truly train all day because I was so slow through the boot. Everyone would catch up to me. I was quite quick in the parts of the track where you can overtake, which probably made me very frustrating to be near. If I could have that rear-facing camera, I could have shown you all the people I was defending from. Unfortunately, they're banned. If you see anybody, any YouTubers, famous or otherwise, who may be running a rear-facing camera in an Access Karting event, remember that does result in complete exclusion from all future Access Karting events. All points and previous championship wins are removed, so do report that to one of the Jameses if you see that anywhere. Only joking. Right, this is the end of Heat 1. I think I came 14th. I can't even remember now. I was reasonably pleased with the result. I'd have been a lot more pleased if I hadn't lost those 2 places at the end, but I finished in front of where I started and I didn't crash, so good start. Right, Heat 2, which is actually Heat 4. Stay with me. I am starting in 6th, which is technically my front start for the day. It's my furthest forward start. It is on the wrong side of the grid, but we have a problem here. This is the grid, and as you can see behind me, I've got Ash Candler, Matthew Roberts and Oscar Proietti, 3 very fast Lancaster drivers who particularly Matt Roberts, who's starting right behind, very good, but does carry a certain reputation. And I'm a bit concerned because I know he's going to overtake me, of course, at some point in this race. But how's he going to do it? And is it going to be clean? And is he just going to bash me out of the way? Not that he's ever done such a thing to anyone in the past, but it's something I am a little bit apprehensive of. I don't want to ruin my race. I want to get a good result from my front start, but we're just going to have to see. So we are coming around to the start. And already you can see the other side of the grid's got a much better getaway. We've lost a couple of places, 3 or even 4. Quite a few people going past. This is Simon Dean in front of me. So I've been quite close to him racing in Club 100. So I'm hoping I can get past in this. And it looks like we've done that already. Looks like I'm just coming in slightly to defend, but that's a move done. Now we've come up behind what is not Tim Kansas, but kind of looks like it. Gonna little tap there, but try go up the inside, but it doesn't really work. We end up alongside, but you know what? No sign of Matt Roberts. That's not him either. So we're obviously checking the behind, making sure he's not going to come up at us. I think this is Alex Horn in front, who is, I think, also Lancaster. So they're just everywhere, and he's dropped back a bit. I think he might have been on pole, so he's not had a good start. I'm not sure what happened there, but I think he is very quick. Lost a couple of places, but it's not too bad. Big tap from behind, could be Matt Roberts, who knows. Not that I'm paranoid about anything. Not the best exit out of the boot, which is pretty standard for me. I guess it could have been worse, so I've got to try and really nail turns 1 and 2, make it up the hill safe. We seem to be, well, we're not defending too much. No, in fact, we're not defending at all, so I must be confident that no one's behind. We're back up behind Not Tim Kansas. We're going to try, see if we can get a bit of a run on him. He's obviously been overtaken into Christmas. He's lost a bit of momentum, but he seems to have gained it back, so that's fine. We're both coming up against Nick. He's actually another returning driver from last year, but I believe this is his first weekend off the novice plates. He's a lovely guy around the paddock, and if I'm correct on that, he's doing a really good job. Someone off on the grass to our right, but we're going to push Nick through on Not Tim Kansas and both get the place sorted, which works out very well for me. Nice move in teamwork there. Sorry, no teams allowed. And we're going to go through the boot. Of course, though, we lose a bunch of time to Nick that we've previously gained, which maybe makes me vulnerable to those behind. So let's see how we go through turns 1 and 2. We have a decent run, but we are already pulling to the right quite quickly. So we're defending, is it Matt Roberts? Do I need a counter for the number of times I've mentioned Matt Roberts? But we make it through the corner. We're still facing in the right direction. We haven't lost a place, so it's okay. Must be safe. He must be a bit further behind. We're actually now in 6th, which for me is great. I'm really happy with this, but there he is. Well, let's see what happened. Okay, in slow motion, we're coming down the hill. It's all pretty normal racing line, and round we go. I probably was aware that Matt was there, but I don't think there was any way that move was on. And as we can see, is that some of my rubber on his front nose cone there? Anyway, no hard feelings. Matt did apologise afterwards. It was just obviously in the heat. I was kind of annoyed, but it's one of those things. And let's face it, I'm no saint. Anyway, we've now lost, I think we're down in like 21st, lost a lot of places. We're just behind Nick here. Give him a bit of a tap there. That wasn't really on. Sorry, Nick, I was driving a bit angry at this point, but we're going to go straight past anyway. Nick doesn't defend too hard, which is good. And then there's now a novice in front. I don't actually know who this is. Afraid, yeah, as I said, too many names to remember. Doing a bit of a Tom Angular here and getting everything wrong. But there is a lot more people now, and I don't know all of the numbers, especially people who I've not particularly raced against or not similar in pace. So this race now for me is just about recovery. I've gone from 6th to 21st. Can I get anything back? Can I get some more places? Can I try and finish the race in a respectable position? I've got this one guy here, but then a bit of a gap to the pack. The question is, can I catch that pack and make some inroads into it, or...
Hi, I'm Murph from The Wombats, and our new album, Oh the Ocean, is out and available now. That's all I wanted to let you know. Now you can go back to watching your Diago karts going round and round and round, and have a real rough time. Bye.
am I just going to get stuck here? So we're coming up to this person. Sorry again, don't know your name, and we're bumping them a few times there. That's a bit risky as well, and of course I've lost all my momentum coming down the infield straight, so I don't really get the chance to make a move. Actually losing quite a lot of time here now because I'm clearly faster than this person, but just not really able to do anything with it. Of course, we're now coming up to the section of the track where I am at least a bit stronger and you can overtake, so hopefully we can get this done first time up to Christmas. They've already lost a bit of time on that corner. In fact, they've lost so much I've had to go wide. I wanted to get the inside, but because they were so much slower than I expected through there, I didn't really get the chance, but it's okay. I've actually managed to be so late on the brakes, can take it clean round the outside, which is not normally a move that's on, but it's worked. So we've now actually skipped on, because as you could see there was a bit of a gap in front, and there's probably no point showing you multiple laps of me very, very slowly and painfully closing that in. We caught number 78, who I think came up in heat 1, and I wasn't too sure it was then. I'm afraid I still don't know. Relatively easy move, got up the inside just where I wanted, so that's good. Now we're coming up against a novice here, but I think this is, oh, I'm going to get this wrong, something Ferguson Walker. It's the person with the Scottish flag on the entry list. Apologies, I can't remember your name either. But I've just skipped a bunch of laps. As you can see, I haven't really got any closer. I've now skipped onto the last lap of the race because there wasn't really a lot happening. I got close to this guy, fell back, closer, fell back. But I'm showing you this is the last lap of the race. It's also my fastest lap of the day. It was a 56.4, which is still miles off the leading pace. I think the best lap of the weekend was like a 55.1 or something mental, of course, from Jake Sharrock. I have done, as we've done in the past, I've closed a lot into Christmas, and I'm now much closer than I was at the start of the lap. The question is, of course, how much closer can I stay for the following laps? I've had a pretty good run all round. Obviously, well, of course, it's a good run because it's my best lap of the day. We're following up the infield straight. I'm just sort of thinking, I don't know if I realised at the time that this was the last lap, so I was trying to close in. I actually closed right up there, but then immediately lose it again, and I've still lost some distance through the boot, despite this being my best lap. Think how much quicker I could have been, but a slight mistake on the exit there from this guy, and I think maybe I would have got him up the hill if there'd been one more lap. Of course, I'm going to say that. Anyway, that was a disappointing finish. I think it was P19, which was very disappointing from 6th on the grid, but it is what it is. Okay, heat 3, which is actually heat 5. I'm starting P8 here. I should have been on P10, but there are a couple of people absent, including Tom Angroyer. He was bombing the Gods of Porcelain that weekend. Shame for him, but he will be back in Landau, so you'll probably be pleased to know that YouTube content for GX is going to improve again from my own efforts. However, this puts me behind actual Tim Kansas, which gives me a good pace reference, and we are coming around to turn 1, so here we go. And as usual, the odd side of the grid has got a better getaway, but it's perhaps not as extreme as some of the other races, so we've done okay. We're just coming up the hill now. Haven't really lost too much. Bit of a gap against Tim, but he's defending, so I've got the chance to go right around the outside. This looks like a great move. And then can I hold it on the inside? Looks like maybe I have, but Tim's still there. Now it looks like nothing happened there, but I'm going to show you what actually happened was this. I got right round the wide on turn 1, and it meant that I was so tight on turn 2 that I just understeered into Tim and sent him flying, and then he gave me the most comedy angry wave I've ever seen. Absolute hats off, because it was way more than the classic hand in the air. I don't know how he managed to convey such emotion. He looked so angry. I was of course absolved of all guilt because I'd given him the sorry wave. I mean, it was my fault, but luckily no harm was done, and we've now gone back up the inside of Tim again, but oh no we haven't. He's got me, and a little ping of our bumpers means Ronnie gets through and somebody else, which that's a shame. So in attempting to pass Tim, I've actually not passed him and lost 2 other places, but it was worth it for that photo, which was pretty cool. And as I said, his car was not damaged, it was fine. We talked about it. I did mention earlier about reasons why Tim may hate me and people who are no longer my friend. That could could be one of them, and he won't have even known about the race 1 incident, but it's okay. Now we've got Jake Sharrett going slowly, looking a little bit angry. I'm not sure why, but I'm sure he will come back past me at some point, and we will find out. For now though, it's eyes forward. I need to try and focus on staying with this pack. Can I even make some positions? I think this is Paul Zanatachi in front of me. Have I said that right? Great surname, which is the main reason I've remembered it. And someone's gone off on the grass there, not sure who, but they've lost some places. So we're making them up even if it's by attrition. I just need to try and not lose too much time, because there are fast, but there's a lot of fast people behind me actually who will be coming on later in this race. Of course though, I am already losing time. There was actually a bit of a yellow flag on that, so we should have stayed equilibrium, but I think I've actually I gained a bit, lost a bit. These things happen. So we're racing up the hill. I'm defending hard here. Not sure if it is still Jake behind me at this point, but I've managed to save that. And then I think whoever it is, I think judging by how I'm racing, I may be defending some more, which maybe isn't advisable at this early on in the race, but as I've said, this is actually something that I discussed with some people after the race, because I was like, why don't people work with me? And then I realised it's because I'm so slow, and if I'm this slow through most of the lap, even on the bits where I'm quick, people don't actually want to work with me, and if I defend right from the start, nobody's going to help me, which is actually fair enough. It's something I need to think about, but there's been more yellow there. I have actually maybe been a little bit naughty and closed up a little bit more, but it's not anything substantial, so we carry on. It's really a game of when am I going to get past? We'll see there up in front, Tim is going past Seb. I've just had another awful weekend with just constant reliability problems. He is really quick. He never gets to use that pace. I think even at this stage he might be having some engine problems, but he's going okay. At least I'm not losing the pack too much, even if it is due to fighting, so this is a good thing. And I am waffling, which means it's time for another skip. We are approaching the section of the race where the controversial Battenberg flag came out, but I'm just going to skip through all of that. What we're meant to have done, of course, is closed in on the car in front, but as you can see, I have lost time. I did initially close in, but I was so bad at reacting to the green flag when we went back racing, I lost all the gap I'd immediately gained, and straight away Alex Horn dives right up the inside of me, which is my own fault. Bit frustrating, but you know, he's a lot faster than me, so that's okay. I didn't actually realise at the time, but I was told afterwards that because of fighting, there was quite a big gap behind me prior to the Battenberg. But those guys did what they were meant to do, which was close up the gap, whereas I actually lost my gap to the car in front. And of course, as a result, I've immediately lost 2 places. But again, this is Jake, so it's not super important. And let's face it, he definitely would have got me eventually anyway. Now, the final section of this race should be a great video, but as I mentioned, no rear cameras allowed, so I was chasing down the guys in front, but I also had a lot of quick people behind me. I had Alex Van Gien and Phil Richardson both taking in turns to try and overtake me, both a lot faster than I am, but they were not able to get through, so neither of the pair of them appears in my video at any point. I knew they were there, I was defending, but you really can't see anything from the video, which is a shame. There's this little clip here, I've skipped on to the one bit where you see something. You just see me go a tiny bit sideways. That was because Alex had tried to get up the inside me before the little right-hand kink, but I had closed that off and we just had a little bit of contact, my rear corner to his front, which I think was kind of okay. I know it was on the limit. I did say to Alex after this I was grateful for him to being very fair with me, because he always gave me that little bit of space, and arguably I didn't. I haven't yet seen Alex's video, which will no doubt be coming out. I'm guessing he's going to show a very different view of that same battle, and probably he nearly died. There, I finally get Seb, who I'd actually been focusing on racing for a little while and hadn't managed to get past, but I did get past him, except for the fact I think it was because his engine died, so I can't really claim that as a victory. Last lap coming up, and because although there was some interesting action, you can't see any of it on the camera. All we've got here is a freeze frame, and then we freeze frame a lap later at the checkered flag, because the only saving grace here was that at least the pack I'm chasing don't actually get much further away. I think as the day's gone on, I have got a little bit closer to the pace, even though I'm still really bad in the boot. So, a 14th, a 16th and a 9th place across the 3 heats. Puts me 21st on the grid for the A final, which I'm okay with that. I maybe would have liked to have been a couple of places further forward, and if I'd not had the spin in my second heat, I probably would have been. But one thing I did want to avoid was being in the B final, and I have avoided that, which was good. So I'm now starting on the odd side of the grid, which is also a good thing. I've got some familiar faces close by. There's actual Tim Kansas on my right. Ethan is a couple of spots in front of me, who is normally way quicker than me, but I think he was struggling with this track a little bit too, although learned through the day. There's even not Tim Kansas there. Oscar's got his hand up, not sure why, but he seems to be fine. And here we go. And I've timed that pretty terribly. I've left a bit of a gap, which is an absolute rookie error, especially in the final. But at least because I was on the odd side, there was a bit of a gain anyway, so I haven't really lost anything. Tucked in behind Oscar here to see what we can do on this first corner. It's all bumper to bumper. I think I've got someone behind me. Pushes me a tiny bit wide, but I don't actually lose anything, so that's okay. Gonna dive up the inside of Ronnie here, but he's had a much better run, so there's not really a lot I can do. Slight tap on Oscar there. I do actually send him a little bit sideways. I think that might have been my fault, but he hasn't gone round, so it's okay. We are still in the pack. I think we're basically in the same place that I started, and if I have gained a lot of anything, it's not a lot. There's a big crunch into that corner with 4 karts, and I managed to go around 3 of them in one go and have a run on Tim, but he doesn't know I'm there. He goes wide, just pushes me on the grass, but I've just about survived it. So I have made 3 places off one corner, which is an amazing result, and I'm stuck behind what is actually, of course, not Tim Kansas. This is number 57. I don't know your real name, but not Tim is stuck now, sorry. Already a gap opened out to the pack in front. Not ideal, and probably I've got a train behind me because that's pretty standard. I'm defending already. Now, I've said it all day, and it's even worse in the final. This was just 10 minutes of stressful defending, which unfortunately doesn't make for a great video, but it's been a fairly sensible first lap. And actually what we're going to do is we're going to pause on the apex, and then we're going to skip a lap, and as you can see, everything's exactly the same, but they were a couple of kart lengths in front, so not done too badly. Somebody's on the grass, not sure who, so that's a place gained. Maybe my best strategy is keep it clean and hope that everyone else fights, although actually in hindsight it was mainly me doing the fighting and defending, which I know is a questionable strategy, but the thing was, I knew by this stage of the day I was not going to be catching the pack, but I also had a lot of confidence on the brakes to defend, so I went for it. Unfortunately, that does not make for a very interesting video. It was all happening behind me, and there's very little to see in front. So, the only way to make this even vaguely watchable is, 1, I'm going to skip on a little bit till it gets a little bit more heated near the end, and 2 is speed it up. So we're now running at double speed. Isn't it so much more exciting this way? I should just do all my videos like this. You might actually find them interesting. Anyway, you'll see Oscar got past me. Bit annoying. What actually happened is basically various different people had been attempting to overtake me for all of that section and failing. And I had managed to defend every time. And then Ronnie, who is very quick, much quicker than me, came up behind me, and he tried to get me on the little right kink up the hill, but didn't quite get far enough ahead, and his front bumper locked onto my rear bumper, and we stayed locked all the way up to Christmas, which was really nice because it meant we obviously both lost a load of time, and it meant Oscar could just drive clean around the outside. I mean, he's much faster than me anyway, so it's not a major issue, but you see how quickly he's cleared off in another couple of laps, and now the various other people are having goes at overtaking me. In fact, there you go, there's actual Tim Kansas. He's got me, and I think, to be honest, I'm not sure it was the same thing. I think Ronnie hooked my bumper when he was trying to have a go at me, and it allowed Tim to get up because it slowed us both down so much. I was actually a little bit frustrated with Ronnie after the race, but I realised it was a bit unfair. I wanted him to work with me, but of course, why would he when I was so slow? He just wanted to get past, and I think he actually got a penalty. I don't know if that was for contact with me. If it was a bit unfair, I don't think he deserved a penalty. It was just a little bit annoying at the time. We're now going up the hill, back at normal speed, and I'm defending hard again. It's Ronnie again, and he's going to try and get past me. He's actually now going to do it. He does a brilliant move here right up the inside, and despite having to take such a tight line, he still holds reasonable speed on the exit. I go for the cutback. It doesn't quite work. We lock bumpers, which means I have to back out, and unfortunately allows Matt Davis in front of me, who seems to be quite annoyed with me, and I don't really know why. Like, there's another look. He's really not happy. Matt, if I don't know you, we've never really talked. If you want to explain why you were so angry with me, please do, because I don't think I did anything wrong. I don't know if I was defending against you, but something must have happened. So, oh well. Maybe I need a counter for all the people who are annoyed with me on the race day, but that's probably quite a high number, so let's ignore that. We're now on to the last couple of laps. It might even be the last lap. And you can see it's actually almost embarrassing how much time I've lost already to the actual pack in front of miles ahead. I realised a mistake I made into this finals. It was a lot colder. It was late in the day. The temperature had dropped, so I went higher on my pressures before the final, which I think was okay in the first half of the final. I think by this second half I've absolutely cooked my tyres, and I've really dropped off on pace, because although it got better through the day, I'm way off here. We do now finish in this position, which was 17th after Ronnie's penalty, 18th on the road. So overall, I am very happy with that. Decent first result for the first round of the season, which pretty much concludes my video, as the checkered flag is right around this corner. I know that you have a choice of airlines, so I'd like to thank you for flying with me. If you've made it all this way, this has been my difficult second album after the successful first video. I only hope it was half as entertaining as the last one apparently was, you bunch of weirdos. If you have been watching other YouTubers who are significantly faster than me and you're worried about taking part in GX, do not be. You might think you can't catch them. You're probably right, but it doesn't matter. There's good fun battles in the midfield. There's even a few people still behind me, and they've had good fun too, so it's definitely worth joining. This is the best series for people who want to get into owner-driver karting, and it's such a fun way of doing it. It's a great paddock, as has been said many times before. And thanks for watching. I may or may not see you in Landau. You can watch it on the telly anyway, so I probably won't make a video for that one. Bye.